Lucky.
G'day, cheeky dogs! Thank you so much for joining us for our Beyond Bluey podcast today for the slide. Of course, you have myself, Aussie Gal Margie. Thank you so much for joining us.
And then we have Pugly, which is me, of course. And I'm so excited to talk about this episode because we are just about, 3 more weeks until the episode The Sign comes out. And this is such a huge episode for this, for the upcoming episode. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this one, I think none of us really expected slide to mean much, I guess. No. But it wasn't until we're going to talk about it, obviously, and why it is so important for the episode The Sign. But yeah, we also have Ghost Basket, of course, coming out in about 2-ish weeks now. So it's all really exciting. But yeah, today for you guys, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the episode slide. We're going to be talking about, obviously, how it links into the episode The Sign, as well as Bingo and Leela's friendship, the Easter eggs, the awards that this episode actually got, some of the hidden stuff that maybe you guys might have missed, but yeah, all those kind of fun things. So hi to everyone in the chats. I'm just looking at it all now. Hey to everyone. No, you are not late. We have just started. Already the theories are popping up. Is Chili pregnant? Is that where she is? Why she's on this episode, the slide? Her and Bluey are at the doctor's appointment. All those fun things. Man. But yeah, so hey guys, thanks so much for joining. So I guess let's start off then with our first topic, which is slide in development for ages. So yeah, Pugly, did you know this?
Yo, when you first told me about this, I was like, no way. But I'm pretty sure when I listened to the podcast and saw some trivia on it, everybody was saying it was in development since season 2, and I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah,
so I was never expecting that. Go on, sorry.
It's all right. I'll pull up the picture here. So I'm sure for those of you who are watching, you can see here, the original name was actually Water Slide, not just Slide. So up on the Bluey wiki page, they have the animatic. We'll show you guys a little bit of it. But this is the backgrounds, basically the storyboarding for what they wanted to do. You can see that Leafacus was always in it. But I do think it's interesting that the butterfly was yellow, or at least in this, it was yellow. So that's an interesting change. Might push into that theory I have tomorrow that I mentioned to you just before about the butterfly not having anything to do with the blue healers of the family. But
yeah.
I'll show you guys though this little clip. Here we go.
Wow.
But yeah, isn't that crazy how much it's changed?
Yeah, the music in the background is totally different. I know, for those of you in the chats, did any of you see this animatic when it came out? Because this came out years and years ago. I want to say at least 3 to 4 years ago minimum.
Yeah, I believe the file name I had for it actually said 2021. So
yeah,
I believe you're right.
This one was in development for a really long time. On the podcast, Joe Brum had said as well that he had this idea almost since season 1, and it was just a bunch of notes written down. And then this episode, it looked like it was going to be in season 2, not in season 3. So it's interesting that they decided to wait. I am curious why. Again, I'm hoping that we find out with the butterfly. I'm assuming that's why it is. But we do have this other little clip here as well that we wanted to show you guys too.
Come on, little fella.
Okay, you can go, Leela.
Hooray!
So yeah, instead of Bandit's voice, that's Joe Brum's voice for sure. I can now quite well tell the difference between Joe and Dan because of how much I've had to listen to this stuff.
And it's so funny that it just clips from Bingo's voice to a grown man projecting out of her voice. It's so funny to me.
It was, you can definitely tell the storyboards go. So yeah.
And
I think it's really funny.
I know, right? And you mentioned the podcast. There's lots of nice little tidbits that you can learn in the behind the scenes podcast for this episode. But a big reason why this episode was in development for so long is just because of how big of the project it was for everyone. They mentioned that the sound effects, the animations that they need to do, with the water and the close-up shots, were all immense projects that they had to do, especially that beautiful butterfly animation we have near the end that's super smooth and everything. They just said that it had a ton of effort, and it was apparently the same amount of effort or even more than the production of Rain. And you know how much special effects they had to add for that episode, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, gosh, I couldn't even imagine. Actually, I'm kind of curious, for those of you who are in the chat, which episode did you like more? Did you like Rain or Slide? Because they kind of feel, because like obviously Rain is just like Chili and Bluey, but this episode is, I mean, Bandit's there as well, I guess, in the background, but it's like a Bingo and Bandit and Leela centric episode, so that's obviously missing either side of the parents. So I'm curious.
Interesting.
Oh,
That's a
we got
weird
few different
parallel.
people. Yeah, like it just came to me then, but it seems like, yeah, everyone's sort of, it's almost kind of mixed from what I can see in the chats here. I'm trying to throw some of you guys up on the screen. Slide. Oh, it seems maybe a few more for Slide than Rain.
I mean, Slide is like one of the most fan favorite episodes in the community. I'm not that surprised, because when I think of Slide, I'm like, oh, this is a nice episode, but it's like it doesn't immediately go like, oh, this is one of my favorite episodes, even though it's such a good episode. It's like not top 10 for me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. I love seeing that like everyone seems kind of split very evenly about this. We did have one more of the little clips of the animatic, which I think is really cute. I might try and show it against like the actual one.
I'm not sure about that. Should we just try it? Okay.
Here I come.
That's Joe Brum again, voicing for Bingo. That it's weird when they do that, because obviously they had their voices for parts of it. So what happened?
Yeah. I guess they were,
really funny.
like you said, that he had some notes on it, but they weren't able to record everything he wanted right away, I suppose.
Yeah, I know that they also said in the podcast, he said that he really wanted to do an episode with Leela in it more because he loves like Leela's voice actor and like the sound of her voice. It's one of his favorites alongside like Rusty's voice, because it's just so cute and very unique sounding compared to everyone else's. So someone just said like Joe is Bingo sounds scary. I could see that.
God.
But yeah, so I think that's one of the really cool things about Bluey is obviously like, yeah, just seeing how long it takes for things to develop. Like you mentioned, like the water just takes forever. But yeah, I think that's just really cool. I guess we should probably talk about the main thing though, of course, which is the butterfly. So let's switch over into that one.
This episode of Bluey is called Slide.
Okay, so the butterfly. When you saw it, when you first watched this episode, did you think anything about it at all?
You know what? I didn't. Like there's like there's like the entire theme of the episode, and it's like, oh, your actions have consequences, and all this like nice little things, and it's like it rewards them at the end by the butterfly, surviving, being able to cocoon and like go back to them near the end, even if they don't know it's the same bug. I didn't really consider the symbolism of that particular butterfly, which is a Ulysses butterfly.
Yeah. Well, I think like I wonder if we can see it here. So as I mentioned before, the butterfly here is obviously yellow, but eventually they changed it to the blue one here. So the symbolism of it being, it symbolizes the soul, the cycle of birth and death and transformation. And for those of you who've watched my theory videos, I've talked about this so many times, this butterfly. But we do have the clip here from the Behind Bluey podcast of Joe talking about why it's so important. So I did want to share that with you guys.
What I do like about this app, which you probably won't find out for another year, is there is a little connection to a later episode. And so it's a very special app in the context of season 3, the wider context of season 3.
So yeah, when I obviously first heard that, that's when I was like, this is important. Why? Like, I don't know about you, Kenny, but I know like butterflies in anime, like it's constantly showing that someone's like dead and coming back to like give someone a message, basically. That's how the amount of anime I can think of that like that's usually like a symbolism for it.
I'm so happy you said that. Like, I don't want to go on like a huge side tangent, but you've always mentioned that you like anime, and whenever I think of Ulysses butterfly, I think of Bleach.
That's a really good one. I feel like it's only because like all of a sudden I was watching anime and all of a sudden I'm like, there's butterflies everywhere. Like, how did I not notice this before?
Oh God.
Yeah, I kind of wonder though, like, yeah, if it's more to do with death than it is to do with birth. So that's
Maybe,
why, I'm wondering if it has more to do with that. Oh, someone just said, did you see the new trailer for the sign? I know a new trailer is meant to be dropping tomorrow or Monday on Disney. Jordan, let us know where did you see this new trailer?
He might be talking about this trailer. I'm gonna pull it up. This is like a week old. It tells you the name of the butterfly.
Good to see you again.
Maybe that.
Yeah, good old muffin in the background. Just
Yeah,
smacked on the
and like the music came in, and you just hear ah.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. So obviously we have that, and then there was another section where they talk about again how important it was, but also similarly to like how much effort they put into like doing the water effects for this. The butterfly as well took them ages, and they said it was really expensive. Them just making this butterfly and getting it to flap on purpose. But I have this clip.
Can you
Not
imagine?
that particular. That's an expensive bug. That one.
That's right. Yeah. Can you imagine the end of the ep being really different if it's the hand comes down on top of the butterfly at the end of the episode?
Well, true. And,
Yeah.
you know, that might affect a particular future ep as well.
Yes, very good point.
So again, not only is it an expensive butterfly, but it is an important butterfly. I'm just looking at you guys here in the chat as well. Someone just said something really good about it. Oh yeah. Do we think that we'll see Leela in the sign as well? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, I hope so. I mean, like, gosh, they did like make it a huge part of like Leela and Bingo at the end there. It'd be a shame if we didn't at least see her, but we already kind of like know the context of the episode. I don't really see how she can be in there at the same time. Like, I don't see why she'd be at the wedding. Maybe friends. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's 28 minutes. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah. So I guess then I wanted to bring up the theme of lucky. So some of you might not have realized in the episode just how many times they say lucky. So I'm going to bring up a clip for you all so you can see.
Lucky.
It's your lucky day, kids.
The luckiest kid. You're lucky. Lucky. You're lucky. But lucky it didn't. Unlucky. They're the lucky. Lucky? They're lucky my nana isn't here. You're lucky. Oh, lucky. That's lucky.
Bravo on that. That was good.
I was going to say, anyone in the chats, did you realize that they said lucky 14 times? Like, that is a lot for a 7-minute script where, like, every word counts. And the fact that they said lucky 14 times, I mean, technically, if you take out the unlucky, it's 13 times, which I mean, is that also unlucky? That's why they said it. But yeah, a lot of people here being like, nope, didn't realize, like, yeah, like, lucky is just, like, constantly...
And it's crazy that like it seems that so many people didn't like notice the lucky part, because in the podcast Joe Brum said he really wanted the idea of luck and like how kids understand luckiness to be like a main central thing in the episode, but it seems like it went through over a lot of people's heads, and I will admit it went over my head as well until Aussie Girl Margie told me it over text.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, it went over my head too. Like, I don't think I even talked about that in my breakdown of Slide when it first came out, because I didn't like, again, like, it was there in the background, but it didn't really click. And it didn't honestly click until I started making this theory video in my head about Brandy actually and how unlucky she is. But then I was like, hang on, they talk about luck a lot in this episode. So then I wondered if like the luck had something to do with the butterfly, and then that's going to play a part in the sign, and that's why this episode is so important, like, because the luck has something to do with it too. So I feel like that's also a big part in it as well. But I'm curious, for those of you in the comment section, what do you think about the lucky part? Like, what do you think was the point of really reinforcing the idea of luck? With also yeah, rock paper scissors. How do you say it?
Oh my gosh, it's rock paper scissors. And in the episode I think they say paper rock scissors.
Scissors paper rock. Scissors
Yeah.
paper rock. I can't remember
Which is
because
so
like
weird.
because it's a different way again in Japan. So in my head, I can't even remember how we do it anymore. But I remember someone putting that out. They're like, what is this different way of saying rock, paper, scissors? It's just paper, rock. So I always thought that was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so someone here, is she adopting a kid for Brandy? Who knows? But yeah,
Maybe.
I love that a couple of people brought it up. But I guess that then maybe, yeah, the idea of luck could be the idea of then, you know, taking care of others or taking care of bugs and everything. So I'll put this clip
Why
up.
did we stop? There's a leaf bug in the way. Aw, she's so cute.
So cute.
Such a cute. I love Leela so much.
Yeah. So what did you think about this focus on bugs and the idea of like the importance of caring for them no matter what they look like?
You know, I thought it was so interesting from like, okay, so like, how should I say this? It's funny to say that the episode almost touches on like an existential dilemma, where it's like, what is the importance of life? And it's like, why can we assign mortality and worth to things based on how creatures look? Whereas bugs, like certain bugs that are like ugly, we're like, just squash it. But like a ladybug, or how do you guys say it? A ladybird?
Ladybird, yeah, in Australia.
Ladybird.
Yeah.
It's like those are cute, and it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't kill those at all. Which is really crazy. I think we even have like a clip where he's like, well, I don't like them as much as ladybugs. We shouldn't squish them or something like that.
Yeah, I love that I'll pull it up. Oh yeah.
Can we squish ants? Well, I don't like them as much as ladybirds, but I still don't think we should squish them. Me neither.
Yeah, I love that line because I think it really put on the idea of like, if an animal isn't cute, does it have any worth, kind of thing. So like, same thing with bugs. Yeah, and like I think that's really good though, because like it pulls in the whole fact of like worth shouldn't be tied to how you look, whether you're a human or an animal. Like all life is equal in that kind of sense. Like all life is deserving of living, sort of thing.
Right.
So I really liked that they put in the fact that like, yeah, like just because they're different looking bugs and they're not as pretty, they're just as worthy of being kept alive as another bug.
Right.
I thought that was really beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think it's really clever that they decided to have an episode about like almost like empathy and compassion and importance of life and everything be used through the catalysts of like Leela and Bingo, because there's such like gentle souls in the episode or in the entire series, and they really show the kindness in a brilliant way because as they go further and further, they're like, well, what if we like close our eyes? Does it matter if like we squash them that way? And it's like so funny.
Bingo, yeah. What if we just close our eyes and slide down? What would that do? Well, we wouldn't see if we squished any bugs.
Yeah, I love that because I think it's, again, like you can like put it into like a broader sense of like, well, if you just close your eyes and don't look at the situation, does that make it better? Like if you can't see it, it doesn't exist. And like it's such a typical little kid thing. Like even my daughter, she's convinced that if she closes her eyes, like she's hiding. And she's like, I can't see you because you can't see me. So I think but like, yeah, you can apply that to any situation. Like if you see something bad happen, and like I guess you have a choice. You can just walk away and pretend it's not happening. And then it's like, I'm perfectly fine. Or you can open your eyes and do something about it. So I do think like, I feel like there's a lot of analogies in this episode that could be applied to so many different situations. And that's one of the reasons why it's so good. But I think kind of gets underrated because like, unless you're really thinking about it, sometimes that's not what you might see.
Right. And I swear to gosh, I had it. But PETA has like a reward for this episode.
I've got it. Here we go.
You have the image? There we go. So PETA was like, hey, this is such a good message, because genuinely, it is such a good message. But it's kind of it's a bit odd victory to see PETA be like, this is a great ethical showcasing, because PETA themselves isn't very ethical sometimes. Like, I don't want to get too political on that, but
that's okay. I want to know in the chats, guys, what do you think about PETA giving this episode an award? Like, I can already see someone just being like, no, Wolf is like, I'm out of it. Like, I think it's really interesting that PETA. It's so hard because like it's great that like there is a show being awarded for showing bugs in such a fantastic way, but then PETA is so problematic on themselves. It's really hard. Like, and a couple of people are saying like the rare moment that I have to give with PETA, but I definitely don't like PETA. Yeah, I think that's one of those things. Like a lot of people love that they have the award, but they don't like the actual place themselves.
And I don't know if this sways I don't know if this sways anybody, but I think the award specifically says it's from PETA kids. I don't know if that, I know that obviously they're correlated, but like it says somewhere about PETA being kids. When I Googled it might not say it on their award. I might be capping, but I swear to gosh it said it. But anyways, I don't know if that makes you guys feel better. I don't know if they're better than the actual PETA, but
someone just asked who is PETA. I can't remember. They're an organization that's meant to be looking out for animals' rights, but sometimes they don't. So
I don't want to go too far into it, honestly.
That's like a whole other thing. But I do think that's really sweet. All right, so we can then maybe, I guess, focus on the beauty then of Leela and Bingo's friendship. I have a really nice clip here. Where is it? This one.
Lucky you're so smart, Leela.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It melts my heart every time. I just think like they're so cute.
Let's go down together. Ready? Let's go. Woo!
It makes me just like dance already, the
Oh my
music, because it's so good.
And how can you
yeah.
not smile when you see their friendship? Oh my god, they're so wholesome.
I love it now. People are finding like, oh, there was a Lucky in that one. Yes, there was a Lucky in that one. But yeah, I love their friendship. I think it's so cute. Like obviously their episode, what was it, Daddy Drop Off, where we
Yep.
see them like growing up together
Have
and
the
being
ending
friends
here.
all the way through to university. Like I love that. I
Mhm.
think. Oh, you've got the image. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Bingo is my friend now. And I hope we're friends forever and ever and ever.
It's so cute. I love
It
that you can see in
is.
that as well is like them at their preschool and then they see them at Bluey's school because they've
I
obviously like moved
know.
up the level. And then the
So
next one
cute.
is it looks like it's like a classroom for like maybe around middle schoolish if they're around there, then university after that. So
Uh-huh.
cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
What
think
I really love
yeah.
about this episode in particular is that it like really solidifies how close the pair is. Sure, we have like that incredible ending from Daddy Drop Off, where it shows that your friendship would, of course, stand the test of time. And then like we had like moments here and there from Past the Parcel. I'll show a clip here where we see like Leela visibly get upset when Bingo cries.
No, because just like in real life, you.
And the entire reason why Bingo starts liking the rules is because Leela gets happy after winning here.
Bingo, look, a bubble shooter. Wow.
I'm sorry you didn't win Past the Parcel, Bingo.
It's okay, I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah, when Leela is happy, I'm happy.
Oh, Bingo.
Isn't that so
Yeah,
sweet? Oh my
that
god.
is. I always forget how good Past the Parcel is. It was one of my favorite episodes from season 3A, just because like it had so much in it. But yeah, their friendship is just like absolutely gorgeous. Like it's just like one of those really true, rare friendships that you have where like you're genuinely happy for the other person or genuinely sad for the other person. Like they have so much empathy for each other, which I guess is why they're perfect for this episode's slide. Is like not only do they have empathy for each other, but they have empathy for the bugs as well, and they even
Absolutely.
like. That conversation about their nanas. Oh, let me pull it up. One of my favorite conversations.
My nana squishes bugs. Mine too. But my mum doesn't. Neither does mine. She says they have a mummy and a daddy who would miss them.
Oh, it's so sweet. Someone just pointed out a really cool Easter egg, actually. The magnets, LMB in the pictures for like Leela and Bingo. Good
Oh
spot.
my
Well
god.
done.
That gave me chills. That's
Yeah,
so cool. I love that.
it. Oh, so
sorry.
adorable.
Yo, I don't know if you caught this, but I think it's really special that you know how like their friendship is really cute and everything, but a big thing that Bingo always wanted to do was show the leaf bug to someone. And we actually get that in this episode,
Yes.
and that makes me feel so happy. So
I'll-
if we have this clip here, she's like, "Oh, are you a leaf?" And it's like, I wish I showed someone, but we actually
There's a
get
leaf
them to
bug
see
in
it.
the way. Aw, she's so cute. You have to be more careful, Leafocus.
So adorable.
I didn't even pick up on that. You're so right. Like, because we always associate bugs with Bingo because she's always like, with the leaf and with the ladybird. Like, there are a lot of bugs with her. Even in like their school in the background, there's lots of bugs as well. So I'm assuming she learnt it from school, like to love bugs and care for them. But you're right. That's such a cute connection because she really wanted someone to see it. And then, oh, I love
And
it.
who better than her new best friend Leela? Like for real, it's perfect.
It's interesting because I feel like Bluey doesn't really have a close friendship like that. Like I know Chloe's technically meant to be her best friend, but like aside from the episode Octopus, we've like barely ever really seen them together. Like not,
I guess Adventure.
Adventure,
too.
yeah.
They're really good at like swapping off each other. They're like, oh, I don't want to play this role right now. It's like, okay, let's just swap this. They're like, their dynamics like pretty intertwined.
Yeah, I feel like because I would have honestly thought Indy was Bluey's best friend based off the episode The Markets because we see more of like that empathy almost in that situation. But I'm hoping that we see more of like maybe Bluey's best friends with Coco and with Chloe and that like growing on. I just thought of like a spoiler for the surprise, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm going to talk about that. But I do think that their friendships is just one of the best friendships that we've seen. It's just so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Even literally everyone in the comments there is just like, yes, they're so cute.
Oh man.
Yeah, someone just like, I feel like Bluey would say everyone's my best friend. Yeah, Bluey feels like that kind of person where like she's best
Yeah.
friends with everyone. Like she's more of that. Whereas Bingo has like a very specific best friend. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say about Bingo and Leela's friendship before we move on to our favorite Easter eggs?
No, like gosh, I don't have anything else to say on them. I feel like we're spent on that.
All right. So then we have got our very last one, which is like our favorite, well, before our Q&A, but our favorite Easter eggs as well. So mine was actually, I can bring it up with the Peter Award. Ignore the Peter part of it. But Bandit's hat with the X on it is one of my favorite like little Easter eggs because it's the same as the 4X brewery hats that we have in Brisbane. So like 4X is like the main beer for Queensland, the state they're in, and the actual brewery factory is in Brisbane. And so those hats with the X on them are like souvenirs that you can get when you go to the brewery. So that was like one of my favorite Easter eggs was him wearing a beer hat, basically.
Absolutely. It seems everyone wants to talk about the long dog in the comments, so I'm just gonna pull up the long dog of the episode. It's not my favorite Easter egg. It's not my favorite Easter egg. It's a little bit hard to spot. If we pull up the clip here, it looks kind of almost like an earthworm. Are you able to present it? Okay, there we go. So it kind of looks like an earthworm there, but if you guys can see it, it actually has some little features like the ears and the feet. It's so hard to see though. Like
that's right next to the tennis ball, at least. Yeah, it definitely is. I know season 3, they were so much like they really hid the long dog well. Like, especially season 3C, we had so many little ones. But I think Dragon was the hardest one by far because, like, both me and the guy on Instagram, Long Dog Spotting, both didn't see it. And I messaged one of the animators on Instagram. I was like, I know it's in there. Where is it? Please. And he like sent me a HD version of this. I'm like, you guys need to sort this out because no one has like this specific HD to see inside this tiny little treasure box. I'm like, is this where all these other missing long dogs are hiding that we can't find them because like we don't all have HD blown up in front of us so we can't see them?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I would say this for like an anniversary, but the anniversary just happened like a few months ago, I believe. But if they just release some like hidden long dogs we as a community haven't found like an HD, that'd be great. Or even the one for Slide there because that one's so small. But I don't know why they would have a earthworm in there anyways. But moving on to my favorite Easter egg is definitely the reoccurrence of Jeremy the blue gnome.
Yes. Good old gnomes.
Yeah, they love to use Jeremy in like a ton of different slapstick humor in the series, like grannies, backpackers, right here.
Jeremy, no!
And then we have favorite thing as well. The animators just seem to love to use Jeremy for this. And of course, in Slide, we have this moment.
Which I honestly thought Disney was going to cut, like considering like the amount of censorship they did for like groin jokes, especially. I know they put a lot of them back now, but at first I was just like, oh well, Jeremy's not going to be in this part. I wonder how they're going to cut it out. But I'm glad they kept it in there. Like that was one of the favorite things. Someone just asked about favorite reoccurring Easter eggs. The long dog for sure.
Oh yeah, like who doesn't like the long dog? They're always so creative. Like I feel like there's like almost a limitation on what they can do with the tennis balls because they have to be a circle. While with long dogs, they have like them in multiple different shapes, like the noodle one in it's like one of their cabinets. It's like in a little pasta jar. I'm trying to remember what episode it's from, but you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love I don't know. I think Jeremy's very funny, reoccurring joke. Like I showed it at the end of that clip there, but they even mention on the Bluey website that he's accident prone.
Yes.
So it seems like that's the slapstick humor gnome.
Yeah. I think it's so funny. Like what is it for the Bunnings when they were putting all the gnomes out and everything like that, the amount of people that were possibly purposely breaking him or breaking other gnomes to like do like the husband reenactment thing. I was just like, oh,
it's so funny. And we do have like one other Easter egg. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't necessarily call it an Easter egg, but it's a cool little thing that they did on Twitter where they showed like all the bugs you can find in the episode. So they had a bug inspector checklist. And I should be showing some zoom ins here. So they had like the ant and a couple different other ones you can see here, like the walking leaf. But another funny one I saw was, of course, they have the text for the caterpillar here. it says keep an eye on it because ... So that's like alluding to like, oh, it's going to be something once again, you know, Joe Brum saying to keep an eye on it. But we also, for some reason, have Bandit here. So I thought that was very cute and funny. I'm not sure why they included that, but I think he does go on the slide as well. So
I mean,
guess
that's true.
why.
He's a big blue guy. I remember when I was like, all the bugs as well are ones that you would typically find in Brisbane. Like, they're not just like, you know, a stereotypical color or things like, or like pretty colors, but it was like a Christmas beetle. And then there was another specific one. I remember I put it in my breakdown. But I do always love that they try to make such an effort to make like all the flora and fauna very Brisbane specific, like things that you would find in Brisbane, which is just another reason why I love Bluey, because it's really trying to show the world not just like what Australia's like, but what Brisbane in Australia is like, because everyone knows Sydney, like that's the most popular city in Australia that people outside of Australia know. So I really love that they do that with Brisbane. It makes me really happy. But
oh yeah, like when I think of Australia, I think of Brittany and then Sydney. And that's like it.
yeah, so I know that makes me really happy. So I guess then from here we could probably switch over to our open Q&A time.
Oh, what a sight!
Hooray!
So open Q&A, going over to the comments now. So if you guys would like to ask us any questions about the episode slide, episode the sign, Bluey, anything like that, we'll throw them up on the screen and we'll have a chat about them. So we'll probably do that for about 10 minutes. So there we go. Just to like really put it up there, I'm going to put this out there so no one else asks this question again about the shipping between Bingo and Leela. We've talked about this before, of course, Kenny, I know behind the scenes, but basically shipping with children, I don't think is something to be discussed. Shipping with older characters like the Terrier's mom and Winton's dad, totally cool because they're adult characters. We know that they're about to go into a relationship, and I'm really cool with that. So that's how I feel about the subject. How about you, Kenny?
I see shipping as almost an expression of self, usually where someone like when with situations like that where it's like how should I even put this? Shipping is fine to an extent, but I do think that sometimes shipping younger characters can be really tricky. I do know that it is something that people enjoy. It makes them happy and everything like that. It's not something that I participate in, but I don't mind seeing it. Like it's not something that like makes me like rage at the sky or anything like that. But I just see it as it's an expression of someone else wanting to express something from their point of view. You know, if they're drawing something, all art is like an expression of someone's, you know, self in some ways. So I like to leave it as that it's really an expression of the person. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
I think Wolf brings up a really good point. What about Captain and Mia? Is that too far? I don't think so, because the show did it. I think that's one of those situations like
that's fair.
When the show itself is doing it, like that was their creative decision, and that's fine. Like they obviously show Captain and Mia having like a little bit of flirtatious thing for each other and being really happy around each other. Totally cool. Like when they show Bluey and John Luke grown up and how happy Bluey is seeing him, like I can understand that as well. And again, like showing like an easy one, of course, is like the Winton's mom and Winton's dad, the Terrier's mom. Again, we see them purposely flirting in the background. So situations like that where like they make it quite obvious, like I think that's fine because that's already within the show and it's canon, so that's okay. No issues with that whatsoever. But so let's talk about here we go. Someone asked, what is our favorite gnome? Oh, favorite character as well. You guys are going too fast for me to go. But yeah, my favorite character is Muffin, and my favorite gnome is probably Jeremy as well.
My favorite character is right behind me, right there, Jack. I mean, like Jack is featured 3 times as opposed to every other character back there. So yeah, I love Jack.
So got another good question about the sign teaser trailer where we see Chili being like pulled over by the police in the background. This person guesses that it's probably because Bluey wasn't in a car seat. What do you think, Kenny? Why do you think she was being chased by the police?
I'll be honest, I really feel like she's speeding. Like, because it seems like she's like running late. And, like, I don't know, that's the vibe I get.
Yeah, especially seeing how fast they take off from the house. Like, I feel like, yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be that maybe she's speeding because they're running late. And now she's going to be even more late. And that's why she's like angrily on her phone. So I think that's quite funny.
Yeah, I imagine that episode's gonna have a lot of like little intermittent like stops that are we're gonna almost have like a sticky gecko chili moment, I feel. Because like
Mhm.
we have that moment where like everyone's in the bathroom. Like Socks is in the bathroom behind Bluey and Chili while the butterfly's coming in with
Yeah.
Bingo and Muffin's playing on the thing. Not spoilers, by the way. That's stuff we've
Yeah,
seen from the
that's
trailers.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I really feel like we're gonna see a lot of like, oh my gosh, stop interrupting everything from Chili, like a sticky gecko moment.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Someone just asked when Surprise will be released. We don't know yet. We all assumed that Ghost Basket and Surprise would be released together because they're both 7 minutes, and then The Sign, being a 28-minute special, would release like later on. But I feel very proud of us, Kenny, that you and me guessed it because we'd already seen the episodes. Because both these episodes are already out in India. They've been out for 10 months now, so it's fine. Yeah, we kind of had guessed that The Sign was going to actually be in the middle of those 2 episodes. So Surprise, it might not come out for a while, like at least I don't know, because they haven't started season 4 yet. I saw some of you guys asking about that when we
Mhm.
think season 4 will be released. They're all still on hiatus. There's no one working on it. Ludo Studios have just they're about to put out a new series, actually, also set in Brisbane, that's
Yeah.
animated, which is really cool. Something that will be coming up. But like, for example, I know one of the background animators who I chat with. He's in Japan right now on holiday.
Mhm.
I started season 4 yet. 20 shorts that are still released that they haven't released yet. So my guess is going to be that Surprise will come out towards the end of this year. They'll be releasing the shorts over time. Maybe they'll start production the end of this year, start of next year, which means
Uh-huh.
end of 2025 at this rate is when we'll get more
Mhm.
episodes or season 4. So we've got basically 2 years, guys. I hate to break it to
Yeah,
you, but like
it's gonna be a long wait. But once again,
mm,
I've expressed this multiple times. I feel like it's very important that they take this break because we want Bluey to remain a high quality show as it has been
mm,
presented to us from even season 1. They've like their desire to show the best of the best has always been present in the show, and
yeah.
I don't want that to falter because they weren't able to take a break because we wanted more Bluey. It's like let
Yeah.
them take their break.
Absolutely. I feel like we can kind of adjust this question for both of us as to like what's our next video going to be or my next theory. And also Matt Pat quitting. I didn't realize that Matt Pat had quit. I've
Uh-huh.
been reading for the last 2 weeks, so I've actually been off no social media. The only reason I knew a trailer came out was because you messaged me, Kenny. I was like, this is why I'm meant to be on social media every day. Otherwise, I miss this stuff. I didn't
Right.
realize Matt Pat had quit, so that's quite sad. I think
Yeah,
is he
that I
taking a
feel
break
like
or
the wording that is a it's not like he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst. I quit." It's he retired. You know, he was able to get
okay?
the funds he needed to uh have a happy life for the rest of his life with his
Good on him.
family. I see a lot of people are like super sad about it. And yeah, it's a bittersweet, but I personally think it's amazing. And I'm so happy that he was able to accomplish his dream because that's really the goal of anybody to be able to spend the majority of your time with your family. At least that's my goal. And I know
Oh
that's a
yeah,
goal shared by Azagirl Margie as well.
yeah.
So I'm very happy for him personally.
Yeah, oh, good on him. Yeah, gosh, that would be the dream, right? To earn enough that you can retire early. Like at the moment, like my dream is just to earn enough to buy a house in Australia. Like that's our current goal. That's where we're at. But yeah, one of the other things. So my next Bluey theory actually it'll either be out tomorrow or Monday. I'm still choosing which day. But mine is about Brandy and her role in the sign, and because we know she's going to be in it now. So what is that going to be? So that's my next theory video. What about you? What's your next video?
My next video, I've alluded to it so many times, but it's finally coming out. I'm doing a collaboration with another Bluey tuber. I won't spoil who, but it is a video that is very special, and we're flowing off each other really well in the editing process. So I'm very happy. I'm very
Oh,
excited to let you guys see it soon. I'm not sure when it's gonna be out because I keep saying like it's gonna be out soon, but like I keep getting delays, but it's gonna be the next one.
okay. Oh, I'm excited. All right. So I reckon we've got time for about one more question. So if you guys want to throw in another question. Hi, Matthew, who's here for the first time. All right.
Yay, hello.
Anyone? I love this one. Hank. Oh no. Where we go? Here we go. Okay. How would you feel if they did a permanent time skip or aged up the kids in a future season? Like, what if they moved Bluey and the other kids to middle school? So in Australia, we don't have middle school. I'm going to start with that. We don't. It's middle school is like a very American thing. So in Australia, we do from like prep, which is like kindergarten to grade 6. That's elementary school, as you would call it in America. We say primary school in Australia, and then grade 7 to grade 12 is high school. So it's just 2-2. That's it. But Kenny, yeah, what do you think of them doing a permanent time skip or jumping at the age?
I feel like I would rather it be a one-off or a two-off episode than permanently, because the dynamic that we get in the show is so fun to explore. And I know that like potentially maybe like years and years later we could do that if they run out of ideas, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it being how it is, because we do have to keep in mind that a main focus demographic is, littlies. And I feel like if they did a permanent time skip, it's possible that they would have to focus their demographic on something else. I don't know. I think for some reason that I don't know if that's a great idea.
I mean, it's the trail that Rugrats went, right? Like they ended up doing the time skip, putting them all in, I guess they were in middle school, I think. Middle school or high school, I can't even remember. But they did the time jump. They did added 10 to 12 years on each of them. So I do understand why they would, because there's precedent for it. And like the show was still successful and everything like that. And it's hard because obviously as your audience ages up, and there is so many more things to talk about with each age group and age range, and obviously Joe Brum's own daughters are getting older, so he still has stuff to pull from. I don't know, like I guess they could always do a spin-off. But like it's because it's so hard, right? Like you could always like just refocus. I don't know. I think that they will do it because it's an obvious avenue for them to go into. But I think maybe it would be once maybe they've done season 5. Like I feel like, but again, it's the voice actors. The voice actors are getting too old. Hey, that's the biggest problem is the fact that they used actual kids. They can only keep them at that sound for so long, which is why they all had birthdays and aged up in the show. So I do think that that is going to be an issue, is the voice actors.
I think a fun thing that we should remember is that the characters are aging up slowly in the actual show itself, from season 1 to season 2. I think season 2 is when they turn 7. That might have been season 3. It doesn't matter. They turned from 6. There we go. They turned from 6 to 7. And that took like what, like 4 years. So like we're gonna get the kids like slightly aged up. Maybe we'll get like some new topics because of that. But I don't foresee it being like, oh my god, they're teenagers and they're gonna be always teenagers forever now. Like I don't know. Like I would love to see like a 1-off or a 2-off episode, but I don't know if I want to see the entire series like that. I don't know. Kids are adorable and they allow to do a lot of like fun little things that only kids do because of it. So I don't know. I enjoy it as it is.
I like the idea of a spin-off more with like Captain and Mia. I think would make more sense, especially merchandise wise as well. That would make more sense. So, or even like flashbacks, like a flashback, few episodes of seeing like Bandit or Chili when they're teenagers, or like Trixie when she was a teenager, something like that.
Yes.
I feel like they could do maybe more with that. Like maybe do like 3 episode specials and like focusing on things. I don't know. This is us just pitching ideas to Ludo Studios. If you'd like, please come and see us. Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of which, here to sort of wrap things up, we do have our this is our banners. I love how that just like takes up the whole screen there, no matter what. Okay, there we go. But yes, these are Kenny's. How you can contact him if you need any help with Bluey ideas.
There you go. Yeah. So of course you can mostly find me on my YouTube, that you can see me right here. But if you do want to contact me, I am the most active on Twitter. If you guys want to chat with me, send me any fan art or anything like that, or just see the art that I make, or just fun little jokes I make about Bluey, I usually do a lot of that on Twitter. So you can check me out there.
Yeah. And then, same for me. I'm Aussie Girl Margie everywhere on Instagram and TikTok. Those are my 2 main ones. But yeah, otherwise, guys, thank you all so much for coming by and chatting with us while we talked about Slide and how it's going to interact with everything. But yeah, I'll have a new video out tomorrow. Pugly's going to have a new video out soon as well. So we will see you guys in those videos.
All right, buddies. See you later. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.